You don't need the MPC Live 3. You don't need the MPC Live 2. You don't need the SP 1200. Sonic wise, the things that you need to worry about is picking out good samples. Even if you learn these samplers, you're eventually going to have to learn some type of DAW. Yo, what's good, everyone? It's Rude Noise. So I came with a different type of video today. In this one, I just wanted to answer you guys' questions. I actually made a post on my YouTube channel, just in my community. The question I asked was, for sample based producers, what's your number one challenge right now? Told you guys to drop it in the comments. So I just want to answer you guys like every question that I see in this post. Um, I'm gonna this is probably gonna be a long video, so I'm gonna leave chapters and everything. So if you guys want to skip around, especially if you guys ask me any questions, might do some light edits and stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be a pretty long video. But I just again just want to answer you guys' questions. So the first question, shout out to Stan Solo Ill. He says, or they say, time is always my biggest challenge. Managing time so every aspect of my life is healthy is crazy hard, bro. I definitely feel you on this. So, I have a 19-month-old son. That shit flipped my whole life, or like just turned it all upside down. I know you got if you guys have kids, this can be a challenge too, just to find time to make beats, focus on your music production. One thing that I can tell you, like right now, I'm filming this. All my videos that you guys see, I film it pretty early in the morning. I wake up around 4:30 a.m. So right now it's 5:15. So that's probably the number one tip is if you can dude, if you don't got any kids, no responsibilities, if you're young, you're at the perfect time in your life to like really put in the work with music, or it could be whatever you want to do. Like it could be working out, stuff like that. I would just recommend getting up early at like as early as you can just to do your the stuff that you need to do. That's what I do. And if you're not really a morning person, like again, I think it all depends on what's going on in your life. Like, I have a 9 to 5 too. So I have a pretty flexible schedule though, because I do my job's like a hybrid job. So I work from home and I go on site if I need to. I do IT, so a lot of my job can be done remotely. So I really think it really all depends on what is going on in your life. So I can only recommend a couple things, but I would highly recommend getting up early. I would, like I'm a I just turned 30. It's kind of crazy. I just turned 33 today. It's my birthday today. Does not feel like it. But I think the older I get, like the less I don't really go out. Like the only time I really go out is honestly lately to the studio. Like I've been going with my boys, so like I don't really do a lot of late night stuff. I might like play some games or something, but I'm really going to sleep around like 9:30, 10. So that's one thing I would recommend, getting up early if you can, finding time in the day after work, or it all depends, but there's definitely time to find there's definitely a way to find time in the day. You just got to work around your schedule. That's the best thing I can recommend. All right, so the next question I got was from OG Music. Shout out to you. He said chopping drum breaks. So the biggest thing I can recommend is just to watch my long form videos. But the method I usually use is I chop the drum breaks, but I chop them up pretty tight, like in like 1/16 or like 1/8. And I get this question all the time, like especially in my short form content. They're like, why, like you're pretty much doing the same loop of the original pattern. Why are you chopping it up like that? So the reason I'm doing that, I chop it up really tight, is because on the MPC, you can warp samples. I actually want to make a video on it. I'm There's different ways of doing it, but the more traditional way of warping samples is that you have a drum sample, you put it on the project, and you hit that warp function in the sample edit. The warp algorithm I do not like on the MPC Live. I know they on the MPC I have the MPC Live 3, but I think even just with the new software update, you can I forgot the I forgot the elastic or not elastic. I forgot the algorithm they use. It's supposed to be better. Doesn't sound bad, but I personally like chopping up the sample. That way I have more control when I chop up the drum patterns. And if I usually pitch my drums down, so when I pitch my drums down, I can adjust it to like any BPM that I want. So that's how I do it. Again, I would watch my videos. That's how I usually chop my drum samples, but just yeah, watch my videos. Definitely watch my videos if you have more questions on that. Next question, shout out to Red Wolf 848, bro. I first off, I appreciate all the donations that you've been sending my way for my videos. That means so much to me whenever I see that, like um mainly because I don't really have a lot of stuff that I'm selling. Side note, I do I do have one thing that I just released. It's 20 ways or 20 sample sources for every music producer. I pretty much it's a PDF, $20. I pretty much put down all the links that I use personally for finding samples. So if you're interested in that, check that out. But yeah, shout out to you for sending me all those donations. That really means a lot. But US drum drum patterns, I think that's what you mean. Drum patterns to chop or one shot. So I think what you mean by this or what you're trying to ask is if I use drum loops or if I'd rather use one shots to make my drum patterns. So I would say I would say most of the time I'm just using a drum loop. I was using a lot of drum loops from like YouTube videos or like old vintage records and stuff like that. But lately I've been on Drum Broker. Shout out to Drum Broker. I'm actually part of their affiliate program. Another little plug if you want any. I think it's 20% or 10% off your purchase. I have a discount code in the description. Check that out. But I usually use drum loops or drum breaks for my beats, and then like I was talking about with OG Music, I usually chop them up a certain way, and then that's how I lay down my drums. I do use one shots too. I don't. I think I use one shots if I have a drum loop and maybe layering it, or I'm just using the one shots and making my own drum pattern. But most of the time I use drum loops and then chop them up. If you want to get my opinion on it, I prefer using drum loops because it just sounds more organic. Because the drum loop is someone actually playing the drums and you're just chopping them up. Rearranging them or doing whatever you could loop them. It just sound it to me it sounds better. You have a better swing on your beat. Um, I might put a little bit of effects on it. I've been using um what's the plugin in the MPC Live 3? Uh I forgot. It's like a vintage plugin. I honestly don't use a lot of plugins when it comes to making beats on the MPC Live 3. But yeah, I prefer using drum breaks just to answer your question and my process of it. So next question, I want to say Jazelle official 24. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. You said finding a place to record. This is a good question. So I don't do any recording in. I don't even want to call this a studio. It's literally my MPC. I got an audio interface. I do have like a SM7B. I don't really use it a lot. I might use it in the future, but like a lot of my videos, I have a mic set up right now. It's just like a Rode Pro mic or whatever. But what you're asking, finding a place to record, I would recommend, I would recommend getting like a decent mic. Check out my affiliate links. I have some mics I recommend. They're cheap. Find a good mic, audio interface. It could be a Focusrite and stuff like that. Just start off something simple. But what's really most important is like your what's the word? Just making everything sound what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, like soundproofing your room or like sound treating your room. it's again, it's early in the morning when I make these videos, and sometimes it takes me a second to think. But you want to make sure you do a lot of sound treatment to your room. I personally don't have a lot of experience. My buddy, he actually records himself and he mixes and stuff. But I remember he was building like these big sound panels and kind of like spacing them around the room, and it deadens the sound in the room, but you don't want it too dead. You still want some like life in your recordings, but you can look into that. If that's, if you live in an apartment and it's still noisy, or if you prefer, say that you do that or you don't want to do that, I would just recommend getting studio time, and that's what I've been doing with my boy too. We just been going. Shout out to GCR in Buffalo, New York. Same studio that Westside Gun and Conway and all of them started at. I think they still go there, but they have their studio is super nice. They got like 3 different studios in there, but I would recommend just putting in like, I don't know, twice a month in the studio, maybe getting a couple hours session. You know, might be like 120 each time that you go there. It's a good investment too, because um like, say that you know how to mix a little bit. I'm actually messing with my boy's samples, but like we recorded there, but the engineer just did like little subtle mixes to the vocals, and I'm bringing them back home. I'm putting them in my own productions on Ableton. I'm doing like really really slight mixing and mastering, like nothing crazy at all, but just finding a space to record. I personally, right now, I would just recommend getting studio time. If, depending on where you live, because you might not live in somewhat of a bigger city. Buffalo is definitely not a big city. But there are some studios here. So that's what I would recommend. Either look into sound treating your space, getting the right mic setup, all that stuff, or just getting some studio time. So next question is from Soundsmith333. Um, he asks, getting something to stick, but I don't like my chips the majority of the time, and it's a little frustrating, but I'm still trying. So I think I think what you're trying to say, I think this is probably the a bigger issue with music production, music producers and artists and stuff like that, is just getting something to stick. And I definitely feel you on this. Like, this could be music. For me personally, it was, okay, what content is gonna work that will stick and will grab people's attention and stuff like that. I'm gonna give you my aspect of it. So before this channel, before Rude Noise, I actually was known as At Den. Some of you guys might know me as At Den. Um, but for the I was mainly doing like type beats and stuff like that. I wasn't really making a lot of content like this. I kind of was, but um I was throwing shit at the wall. I was trying to see what worked. Like, my main it definitely depends on what your main goal is, but my main goal is like, I want to build an online fan base and sell beats online. That was like my biggest thing. So I tried type beats, and honestly, the type beats were working, and I fucked up with it. If any of you guys were familiar with Rob Banks, uh, kind of like in that SoundCloud era, I was uploading Rob Banks type beats, and they were getting some traction, but I was all over the place. I wasn't not even all over the place, but like my strategy wasn't consistent, because I was doing Rob Banks type beats and like other artist type beats, but I should have just stuck with one. So like, my biggest advice is to keep throwing shit at the wall, see what works, but it's really just seeing what works. Like, that was working for me, and then I was actually doing like some memes, some like funny memes, producer content. That was actually working better than this. If you want to talk about like view what, or actually, this the stuff that I'm doing right now might be a little bit better, but like on Instagram, I was getting like 30K to 50K views. I don't think I have the count up anymore. But I was getting like a lot of views, but no one was really buying my beats. Um, so what the reason I'm doing this channel is because I started doing the main thing I was doing was like how to make a beat on the MPC Live 2, and I would just it would be the same process I'm doing right now. So I show the sample, show how I chopped it up, did the drums. I was doing more trap beats though too. So it would be the same thing, but what's working for me right now, at least momentarily, is doing that. Um, People are this controversial, but I use the title for a reason. But I do like sampling is superior. That pissed so many people off, and it was really just to like I don't think sampling is superior. I think yes, making your own sounds is probably more superior than sampling, but like you got to grab people's attention. You got to That's the whole thing. If you're looking for the online content, you got to grab people's attention. Like the titles are everything. YouTube titles. You got to do a lot of research. The best tool that you can use right now is ChatGPT. I know that's controversial too. This title that I'm making is probably from ChatGPT, and it's to grab your attention. Like if you're looking for content wise to grab people's attention, like you really got to study what works. And unfortunately, like shit like that, like maybe clickbait titles, you can say, like that works. Like look at all the content creators on YouTube, especially in the music production center, like all their titles um I'm not gonna like look, but like it's controversial, like or it's just grabbing your title or it's grabbing your attention. When it comes to content, that's what I would recommend. When it comes to music, you just gotta release it. Like I was telling my boy too, because we've been recording and he hasn't really been making music and stuff like that. And I'm just like, bro, at this point, you can worry about the content, but like the content usually comes in time. Um, like you something will work, but you just got to keep releasing stuff. You know what I mean? And with music, you just got to keep practicing. You got to keep listening to music that you like, that you think sounds good. Compared to your music, obviously, it's not gonna be neck and neck to each other. Like there's always work to be done. There's always work to be done with my beats. I don't think I'm the greatest producer or anything like that. I honestly, I make beats. They might be ass, they might be good, but I put that shit out. But I focus on the strategy of content and like how I release my stuff, and I just post shit. I don't care. Like I get a bunch of crazy comments, but I'm like, fuck it. I don't like I'm still gonna keep posting. This, you know, that's my mindset. And I've been doing this for so long too. Like I've been making content for probably like 8 years now. I've been making music for like 11 years, but I've been making like content for like a good 8 years, I want to say. So it takes a while. I'm still building up. I'm not like, this is the biggest I've been, like building a fan base and stuff, but like a lot of this shit takes a while, and just don't expect shit to happen overnight, you know. That's my advice for your question right here. So next question is from Cars Music More 25. Shout out to you. Not having a real sampler pad. So I love this question. It's not really a question, but just saying like, hey, I don't have a real sampler pad. This might be controversial too. You don't need the MPC Live 3. You don't need the MPC Live 2. You don't need the SP 1200. Especially if you're just starting out, I would recommend learning a DAW, because even if you learn these samplers, you're eventually going to have to learn some type of DAW. So what I would personally recommend is either get an FL Studio or Ableton or something. I would say those two. You could use Logic, it doesn't fucking matter. Learn that DAW. Like before the MPC Live 3, the MPC Live 2, I was mainly on Ableton, and I learned how to sample on Ableton. So I wasn't using I guess I was using a MIDI controller, but like if I was in the studio right now, say I was in the studio and I had to get like 10 beats like 10 beats in 1 week for an artist. I'd probably use a hybrid because I do like using MPC Live 3, but I'd be using a lot of Ableton. Like, you don't need a real sampler. Like, you just gotta know. I think this is my personal opinion, especially if you're starting. If you have experience, then I guess it's a little bit different because there's a whole other conversation too when it comes to Sonics and stuff like that. Shout out to EA Ski. He talks about this shit all the time, and I agree with him. But I think a lot of the viewers that watch aren't don't need to worry about the Sonics. Like, I guess Sonic wise, the things that you need to worry about is picking out good samples. The sample source definitely matters. That's controversial too because I usually use YouTube stuff. Like, I plug in my phone to my MPC. I would do the same thing on here and just go through YouTube. It's easier. It's a better workflow. Again, controversial. But find good samples. Find good samples. That's the biggest thing. Like, if you look at, especially right now, I follow a lot of what Conductor Williams is doing. Shout out to him and Alchemist. Like, personally, this is me personally. I like their production. If you see how they make their beats, they're using a good sample. They could be looping it. They could be looping the sample. It could come from sample packs. But they're finding a good source of samples and then using it in their production. Fuck a MPC Live. Fuck MPC 3000. Even though I want that shit. That shit is expensive. Same to the SP 1200. Fuck all that shit. Just find the good sample. Find a good sample source. That's the most important thing. To me personally. Find some good drums. Go to Drum Broker. Find a real drummer. Find it really, to me, I think it really comes to the sample source. Like, a sampler is good. Like, I was just in EA Ski's live the other day and he was asking me like what I think about the MPC Live 3, like why do I really use it? He's like, you know, why don't you just use Ableton? I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's because I might try it, but you guys like watching people make beats on the MPC Live too. Like, if I might put some videos of me making beats on Ableton, but one, I built my I built my channel up mainly on the MPC Live 3, and right now I just want to focus on it. Like, I probably will do some other samplers and stuff. Once I get more money and everything, but it's what you guys like to watch. You know what I mean? So that's the reason I'm really doing it. And I do like I like the workflow on the MPC Live 3. For me right now, it's actually easier to sample on this than on Ableton. Like, my workflow is just a lot better on the MPC. Doesn't sound as good as the other ones. I never had a SP 1200 MPC Live 3000. I think what would make sense is getting an MPC 2000 XL. I actually asked EA Ski about this too, and he said it's definitely sounds better than the MPC Live 3, but it's not as it's kind of like the cheap version out of all of them, like sonic wise, which I'm cool with. I'm still super new with the MPC Live or MPC stuff. You know what I mean? Sorry, I went on a little rant, but fuck, don't. I don't know how long you've been doing music. Let me know down below. Cars music more. Let me know, but I want to say that you haven't been doing it for 3 years. I'm just guessing. Don't worry about the sampler shit. If you have the money, yes, I would recommend getting the MPC 1. That's what I would personally recommend. Focus on finding good samples. Focus on finding good samples. And I'm just going to end it like that. All right, so next question is from Hollow Sounds. He asks, working out if anyone will ever hear my music I made using uncleared acapellas or samples because I don't want to get sued. Yet many people don't bother clearing samples, but it's a risk. I made a Fire Nas remix, and there's no way I would ever beat a get this acapella cleared or released, he'll probably have 100K per vocal. Very similar question and mindset of cars, music, and more. Before I even go into this, I'm not a lawyer. I personally never been in a position where I had to clear a sample. To this day, I've never cleared any samples. Of course, I'm not like a bigger producer. So I think if you work with a bigger artist, if you work with West Side Gun or Conway or just any bigger artist, Drake, just anyone, yes, you'll there will be a sample clearing process. I want to say again, I've never been in a situation, but common sense, yes, they will probably have to clear the sample. I want to say you haven't been making music for that long. And I mean, if I check out your I'm not throwing any shade at you or anything. I'm throwing like I'm talking about me too. So it seems like you don't have a crazy amount of views or anything. I want to say they aren't going to be coming at you for 10K per vocal. I want to say you will be okay just releasing a song with an acapella and an uncleared sample. I'm just going to say that. Like for me, like I've gotten copyright, not strikes, but I got a copyright notice or something with a couple of my live streams. And it's because I was playing samples without chopping them up. I was just playing them straight, looking through them. And yes, you're going to get, if you're doing it like that, then yes, you will get some copyright notices on your channel. Did I make a video? I made a video on like the smartest, you just got to be smart about it. You know what I mean? If you're using an acapella and stuff like that, yes, you might get copyright hit and stuff. That's something you just, if you sample, if you use any of this shit, this is just part of it. If you do that, you will. Yes, that shit's just gonna happen. But if you're worried about that, just don't sample. Don't use acapellas. Like make original stuff. Make original songs with people, with rappers. That's the easiest way. You know what I mean? But you. It's really just being smart about how you do it. Like for my videos, I can only give examples from me. So with my beat making videos, what I've been doing, I've been one using drum breaks from kits because even if I get a copyright notice, I can be like, hey, I'm using a royalty free drum kit. Honestly, even if it's not, just say that. Like you can debate it and all that, but just say that. I use loops like that, and with the sample, I play the sample that I'm gonna be using pitched up. Like before I even chop it up, I pitch it up. Like you just gotta like manipulate it for YouTube. That like you just gotta work around stuff like that. Like you pitch it up and then you chop it up, bring it back down. And I actually mentioned that I don't. Cat's eating right now, so you might hear her eat. But like for my videos, like I use my camera audio, so maybe that makes a little bit of a difference because a lot of YouTube producers, they'll hook up their hardware and then they run it right into their DAW, so they're getting that clean audio. That's might be a little bit easier to match. You just gotta be smart around it. But I would say for this mindset, don't worry about that. Like, don't worry about that. Just release it. Just release it, see what happens. If you release it and you notice like the first one gets a copyright notice, okay, it gets a copyright notice. Keep trying different ways. And if you eventually do run into that, just don't use samples. Just don't use samples. Or it could just be your account. It could be so many reasons, but like there's a lot of major producers, they use a lot of samples. I was again, shout out to Conductor Williams, but it seems like he uses samples now, and like some producers will send him some stuff and it'll be in packs and it's all made by producers. So like don't be scared of using sample packs. Like I know it can be corny, bro. This isn't vinyl. This isn't how, bro. I'm sorry. We're in 2025. Shit just works a little bit different now. Like yes, you can use vinyl and stuff, but like, bro, if you made a crazy song with an artist that you like and it uses a sample pack, do you think any of the listeners are gonna fucking care? As long as it sounds good, as long as the sonics sound good and the song is good, that's all that fucking matters. Like, stop worrying about that shit. I think that's an old mentality to have. That's just me personally, but that's what I would recommend to you. But yeah, shout out to Hollow Sounds for asking that. And side note, I actually did peep your content, Hollow Sounds. I peeped. I watch you guys, man. Like I like watching content too, and I think I watch. I quit making music because of this reason. That's real too. Because I actually did quit for a little bit. I stopped making music and content. It's real. It's definitely real. But I think this might be another video. But I think it's a mindset type of thing. It's your mindset with it. But shout out to you, how it sounds. All right. So the last question I'm gonna answer. Again, shout out to you guys for asking these questions. I know. Yo, if you made it this far in the video, thank you. Really means a lot. Again, I just want to make some different type of content, just answer you guys questions. There's a bunch of other questions that people have asked me in comments and stuff like that, but if you do want to ask me questions, just put them down below in this video and I'll see how this does. I'll see how this video does. If it honestly, if it doesn't do crazy well, I might do this less often. I still want to do these. I think it's just good. It's a good way for me just to answer your guys' questions. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. And again, appreciate you for being this far in the video. Again, little plug again. 20 sample sources for producers. Check that link out below in the description. But shout out to Nico Tick. I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher your name, but shout out to you. And you asked making it in key. So kind of vague, but like I I'm gonna say what I think that you're trying to say. So let's say that you're talking about matching two samples in key. That can be kind of tricky. I could tell you this, it's a lot easier to do that stuff on Ableton. Like you can find the key of a sample and then find another sample and find that key, but like mixed in key has a really good VST. It will show you the key of the sample, so you can kind of do that. But let's say, yeah, this one's kind of hard. I don't really worry about the key. The only thing I really worry about is if I add 808s or bass. I want like the bass line or something to match the sample. I can actually show you really quick. So this is what I personally been doing. I just want to show you what I use. So let's say I have a sample. I use this VST right here. So shout out to Navi D. I use Note Grabber. And what I do, you can put a sample right here. Again, it might not play, but I just want to show a quick example. So let's just use this one. And I'm just going to turn it down. I don't really want the audio to be playing. So right here, I have the sample playing. Oh, these are... So I have the sample playing right here. And this is cool because it literally shows you all the keys that are playing in the sample. So you could stop it right here, record, and if you do this quick grab right here, it's kind of crazy. Like the bass samples in this are D2. It shows you right here, D2, or it's in D and then in C. You can grab this, drag it onto MIDI, and like make your own chords on the VST. But again, probably not. Just a little example of what I think that you're asking, but I mean, I think making it in key, it all depends. Like for me, it's I worry about the sub bass if I'm adding sub bass or something like that. But if I'm trying to match like two samples together, I personally don't do that. So that's something you just might have to look up a little bit more. But if you want to match two samples together, I would recommend mixed in key. It's just this mixed in key. This software right here. I would recommend this. It's really meant for DJs, but there's a VST version that you can use in your DAW. Let me see. Mixed in Key Live. This is a really good VST. I would recommend that if you are worried about that. But thank you for asking me. All right, so again, shout out to you guys for asking all these questions. Let me know if you guys like this content. I know it's super long. I didn't really want to do a crazy amount of edits. I just want it to be, raw, straight and direct. Just, me answer your guys' questions. And again, it's really early and I'm fucking tired right now. But I'm doing this for you guys. Like the video, subscribe. If you want to support me, shoot a donation through this video. Cop that guide in the description. Check out my affiliate links. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. It's kind of crazy how far I've been just growing this channel. I didn't really expect me to get this far, to be honest. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I know I'm not like crazy big right now, but like really means a lot to you guys just for supporting me. Um it's just crazy. I'm just doing what I love and I'm posting it. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.